Hi everyone. For this video I'm going to make a regular slimline card. I've got all my bits already cut out and I'll go through those with you as we go along. I've taken out a stamp set. This is the decorative banners and mini sentiments. I'm going to choose a sentiment from there. The floaty fronds is a beautiful die. So I'm going to be using a couple of those. I've taken out the Adornments Collection Floral Finery Perfectly Plain. Some twiddly bits. And then I'm going to be using the Panel Perfection Collection. And this is the Serene panels. Absolutely stunning, this die. This is the panel that I actually cut out. So you can see they're quite a nice size die. So that's the star of the show. And then I used an embossing folder, and this is the Daisy Cascade, an 8x8 embossing folder, and all those products were by Sentimentally Yours. So pop all those to one side. So if I take in my card bits that I've already cut, as I say, this is the panel that we're going to be using on the front of the card. I've cut myself out the twiddly bits, as I say, a couple of fronds, and then I cut myself out another plain piece of the back. So what you get with these dies, for each panel you get the 3 dies. Still got some cardstock stuck in there, look. So what I did was I cut the panel and the biggest die together, which created this border around the edge. And if you wanted a smaller border, obviously you'd use the second one in. But they are, as I say, beautiful dies. Just something a little bit different. So I've cut the back in the cerise pink, and that's going to be my front panel. My first matte layer is in the cerise pink, and then I've got a white piece that I've embossed with the Cascading Daisies. So the card base, as I say, is a regular slimline 8x8. My first matte layer, I've cut that at 3 16/8 by 7 16/8. I didn't want a large border with this card. And my embossed piece I've cut at 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. So that's that piece. So I've already gone ahead and put some foam tape on the back of there. But the first thing I need to do is glue this one down. So a nice amount of glue all around those edges. And in the middle. And get this one nicely lined up. Pop that one over and give that a nice press down from the back. And that's our first matte layer. So if we remove our back ends halfway, take those bottom ones off because that's quite a narrow piece. Take that one off and we can take these center one out. Bring back in our card now. Just trying to see. No. Get that one nicely lined up. And then I can remove those backing tapes. And that's the base of our card done. So with the panel, I want to glue this to the cerise piece, and I've already put some double-sided foam tape on the back of those. What I'm going to do with this is get some glue all around the edge. I'm going to go in a couple of those leaves, especially the ones that are floating, and just put a little blob of glue on them. And this is exactly the same size, so I'm going to get that lined up. Just like so. Turn that over and give that a really nice press down from the back. Make sure all these tiny, tiny leaves are glued down. And then this one is going to sit on the front, just like so. So we can remove all those backings. And take this card back in, get that one nicely lined up. Roughly the same amount of border at the top and the bottom. And just let that one fall. Absolutely gorgeous. I love these dies. So the florals that I cut out, I've cut out 3, and they were from the Floral Finery, perfectly plain, but they've got this really pretty crinkly edge around them. So if I take in my foam mat, pop my florals on upside down, and if I take in my ball tool, all I want to do with these is curl the tips, pop that one over and give that a little squish down. That's a 3 petal. So again, just curl the tips. And that's that one, and then we've got the bigger one in that size. And what I thought I'd like to do with these is with the VersaFine Claire, this is the Hawthorn Rose, and it's actually a perfect match with the cardstock. I'm going to take in a dauber. I'm going to get some ink. Pop that over there a minute. And on my petals, I'm not going all over. I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of the Hawthorn Rose. Now I'm debating whether to go just on the bottom. So I think I'll just do that on the biggest of the florals. I'm gonna wait for those to dry a little bit. I'm gonna take in my fronds and I'm gonna give those a tiny bit of shape. They're quite difficult to shape because they're so delicate, but they're beautiful. And just a tiny bit of shape. And then with my twiddly bits, just give those a tiny bit of shape. And now I've taken my glue, I'm going to rotate those petals. And then we can lift those up. So that's our first floral. thought I'd put a pearl. So I do have, I would say, is the perfect match. So I've got 2 small ones for the smaller and the next size up for the bigger one. A tiny bit of glue in the middle of them. And with my pickup tool, just get those in the center. And then this big one. Give those a squash down and lift up all these petals again. So there's our florals done. So now if I take back in my card, but we'd have this big one just there, like so. Or shall we go from the bottom with this one? Actually, I think we'll change this up and we'll go from the bottom for a change. So give that one a nice squash down. Tend to get stuck with doing things the same all the time. It's nice to change it up occasionally. This one's going to go just under there. And then this last one. Now we must have put more glue than we needed. And then if we take in our glitter, the glue that's seeped out through the pearls, we can just pop a tiny bit of glitter on them. That just gives you a nice glittery center. Now it's just a case of popping in our leaves. So I am going to chop these down a tiny bit. They are a bit too long. Some glue on the back of that one. Lift that up slightly and get that one just there. Give that one a nice squash down. And then this one, I'd like to go this way. So I need to break that one down a little bit. Pop some glue on the back of that one. Just lift up this floral slightly. Get that one just there. Give that one a squash down. And then I do have 2 twiddly bits. So I thought we'd have one just in there. That's actually not a bad length. So get that one down. That one a nice squash down. And then this last one, I thought I'd like to go just at the top there. And you'll notice that they're both going in opposite directions. That one up, get that one down. Give that one a nice squash down. How beautiful is that looking? All we need to do for this now is our sentiment. And the sentiment that I thought I would use is Very Best Wishes. I'm going to choose one of these pretty banners. Now, do we have one with florals on, or do we just have the plain one? I think we'll just go with the plain one, actually. So pop that to one side. Pop down my stamp. That's not big enough, so we need the next size up. And I thought I would ink this up, do it in the cerise pink. So ink up that stamp. Taking a piece of scrap white cardstock. And I'm going to get that one inked up just there. Beautiful. And then the centre, Very Best Wishes. So get that one down. And this one I am going to ink up in the VersaFine Onyx Black. Pick up that stamp. Cardstock nice and straight. Very Best Wishes. And all I want to do with this now is just fussy cut this out. So it's really easy to do, just follow the shape. And it's like I always say, these are handmade cards, they're not made on a production line. And I think it's the imperfections with handmade cards that are what make them special. So never worry about getting your borders exact. All the way along. There we go. So that's our sentiment. Just going to go around those edges with what's left on my brush, just to take away that stark whiteness. I'm going to pop this one up with some foam pads. A couple of foam pads on the back of there. I think 3 should do it. Take those back ends off. And this one is going to sit just there. How gorgeous is that card? Now on the inside of this card, I put Very Best Wishes on the front. I'm going to have on your special day. And what I thought I would do to stay in keeping with the front of the card is cut myself a panel. So I'm taking my plates, my die, quickly get that one run through. same shape mat for the back. For the inside, just pop all that away. And the stamp that I said I was going to use. So, on your special day, get that one nicely lined up. That stamping block isn't big enough. Pick that one up, and again with the VersaFine Onyx Black, I've got a bit of fluff on there. Ink that one up, and we're going to get this one just there on your special day. Give that one a nice clean off. And this one's going to go just on the inside. But because we're going straight onto the cardstock, I'm going to have to put this up with double-sided tear tape. And if you open this up, get that nice and level. And there's the inside of our card finished. So how beautiful is that card? Very best wishes on your special day. That could be for anything. It could be for a wedding, it could be for an anniversary, it could even still be for a birthday. Beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little video. Thank you for watching, and until the next time. Bye for now.